up on Newsnight. My guest is Professor Maggie Kigozi. She's one of the elders, part of the Elders Forum of Uganda. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening, and good evening, viewers.
We're happy that you could come. Of course, this has been around for a while, and you are saying it's going to be launched on 21st of November.
Yes.
There's been previous attempts at having dialogue in this country, but for one reason too many, it just did not happen. Egos of politicians, lack of commitment, or whatever the case might be, it just did not happen. What's new? What's different about this?
What is new is we feel the time is right. There are issues that we can see. A lot of people are unhappy, and we feel it is time to talk to one another and to listen to one another. And so we have the elders of Uganda. We are older people who have nothing to lose. We are not seeking anything from this except to look to a bright future for our grandchildren. We have the Interreligious Council of Uganda, so all the religious leaders are with us, and they are people that have a huge reach right down to the parish level, so they talk to people. They have a huge following. Therefore, we think we have the right people, together with the women, with SEDU, with political parties, to actually, supported by government, we are able to make this happen.
There's probably many Ugandans who are watching this and they are wondering, how do I get to benefit out of this?
Yes.
Because you folks are calling it a national dialogue.
Yes.
And that would mean it encompasses all Ugandans.
Yes.
So how do Ugandans get to benefit from this? Because the concern of most Ugandans is that, you see, when especially politicians get into a room, they're either discussing, how to share spoils or that kind of thing. So how does an old woman deep down in Nakasongola, for example, whatever the case might be, get to benefit from this dialogue?
We started on the dialogue post-2016 elections, and we've been going around, shuttle diplomacy to important people in various positions, to groups, business, youth, women. We've been down to the villages, we've been to the districts. So from them, we've come up with a number of areas that they feel are important. And yeah, it is a bit discouraging to maybe those who think it's only about politics, the fact that some people had issues like land more important, issues like corruption, like services. Are they getting services? We really seriously thought they were more important, and therefore we have a list of 8 items. What
are those, if you could run us through them briefly?
Okay, very, very quickly. Values.
Just the headline, all right?
Values, Ugandan values. Then the economy. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. How do we bring that together? On access to our resources, land, water, the forests, oil, minerals, all those, access to those, can we do it well and do it properly so that the whole country benefits? We have looked at service delivery, education, health, all those, are they being done properly? We've looked at political commitment. That's where everyone thinks this is the only one. But it is very important, that's true, but it's only one of very, very important issues. Then we're looking at the constitution and rule of law. Security, how is that moving on? And lastly, how to implement the national dialogue, sharing the costs and having everybody as much as possible involved.
The other critical question is, who gets to be in this room or hall or whatever the case might be? The 40+ million Ugandans certainly cannot be there, really.
No.
And yet critically, each of them must feel represented, or must actually be represented in that room. So who is going to be discussing on behalf of the rest of us?
Yes, we have identified the organizations and agencies that represent people. Yeah, we've got the Women Network, the NGO Forum, the for Civil Society, plus a whole load of others. Private sector, we've got UMA, PSFU, and so if each of these groups identifies people who people who like to discuss, who like to have ideas. So hopefully they'll pick the right people to represent the bigger group that they are. The farmers and others. Everyone's represented. The youth, everybody should be at the table as much as possible. And then we are, before that, going back. The people talk to the people. So we are going down to the districts. We are going down to the various agencies where we know there are problems. For example, we will make sure we go there, Kasese. And we've already been there. We've heard what they have to say, that we go there again after the launch to really identify what the issues are and hear their voice. And then we bring it back to the dialogue. Research will be done where we are not sure, are we seeing this, are they saying that? We have researchers ready to go and actually do the necessary data, collect the data and the opinions of the people.
You've adumbrated 8 particular areas, and
Yes.
One of the most critical ones really is one where politicians will be trying to get to a focal point. I don't know if they will, but hopefully, I don't know. But look, politicians, you've dealt with them, I interview them every so often. Politicians have egos.
A lot.
Some of them have an exaggerated sense of self-worth. and really, that's across the divide. And that makes it difficult for dialogue to happen, because some will say, look, we won the election. You know, why are you troubling us? What do you mean make concessions? We won the election. Others will say, but wait a minute, you rigged the election. The Supreme Court has actually said to that effect. And so as opposed to coming together, then there gets to be friction. How are you planning for this?
We are working through our partners, the IPOD, their own organizations, political organization, and ICF, and they will be taking the lead on this one. It's their organization, and they're going to. So, but this is not only about politics. The discussion is about what's best for our nation and our people. And I think egos will definitely have to be put aside as you talk about land issues, as you talk about the economy and how we can make everybody feel better. Is the economy as it is now working? Because we privatized, we liberalized, and we are looking to you people to stand up and go be the business that we are looking for.
Okay.
Are you doing it?
The other issue really is that, because you said that government is going to be supporting this process,
Yes.
and it's important that government is in the room.
Yes.
But how do we make sure that everybody in that room is or sees themselves to be at the same level? Because if some think they are a lot more important because of position or whatever the case might be, then there is no dialogue. It is, I am lecturing you, or that kind of thing. So
Yes.
how are we taking care of that?
We are taking care of that. First of all, this one that's coming first is just a launch. It is not the dialogue. But the dialogue will take the model. We saw the Smart Partnership Dialogue. We sit around tables. I sat with I don't know how many presidents, Lesotho, Malawi, all those. So you sit on a table, 10 of you are ordinary people, and there's one president there, and he's just giving his ideas like all of us are giving ideas. So that is what we would like to see, that at the time of the dialogue itself, we have already a lot of research has been done, but we are able to sit around the table and we panel beat it to make it better for you.
In 30 seconds, this is very important. What are the guarantees that what is going to be the outcome of this dialogue will be implemented? Because we have seen things that have not been implemented. Supreme Court, for example, says do this and nobody does it. But here it is goodwill.
Yes.
How do we ensure there is action at the end of the day? In 30 seconds.
We ensure action because this is a process. And this is the first dialogue that will be in June next year, to be followed by others. Now, at this one where you identify the issues, you also identify who will implement. So if it's the Prime Minister, if it's the Ministry of Energy, if it is the private sector, you are mistreating our workers or things like that, will be brought up. If it's the private sector, then you pinpoint them and you have it and you follow up to ensure that PSFU has done what they were supposed to do, Ministry of Energy has done what was supposed to do, because the next dialogue is coming.
All right.
And it will be media. We look to you to discover some of those facts and say who has not done what they are supposed to do.
You can be sure we will do our job. Hopefully we will not be battered for that. Anyway, Professor Maggie Kigozi, thank you for making the time to talk to us.
You're very welcome.
And that was Newsnight. Now, in this week's NTV Green, Suhail Mugabe explores Kibale Forest National Park, which is now widely termed as the primate capital of the world, as it is home to at least 13 primate species. The main attraction in the park is chimpanzee tracking in the